Happy holidays, everybody. Welcome to Game Day View, presented by Mercedes-Benz. Patrick Claybon, glad to be here with Greg Rosenthal and Cynthia Freeland, who made up ground last week by going 10-6. Congratulations.
Yay.
Cynthia. It's now your job to catch Greg because you've passed.
No, we both have to catch Greg. We just need to bring him down. It doesn't
yeah.
matter which one of us does it. That smug little smile in that crown.
All right, let's
must
see it
be
then.
Stopped.
Okay.
It must.
All right, let's look
Give me
at
a
it.
Smug little. There it is.
See?
Ready? Put that.
I got
thanks for the Santa hats.
Yeah,
guys.
the leading Santa hat. That's right. I gotta
The
update
leading Santa hat.
that headshot. Took some new hot photos this week. Let's go.
All right, so right now, Greg would be the favorite to win in the picks. He's, 3 games ahead of Cynthia, 4 games ahead of me. Speaking of picks to win things, these are the Super Bowl odds. The game we're looking forward to in Las Vegas. Right now, the Ravens and the 49ers
Yeesh.
far and away ahead, just ahead. The folks know that there might be some people that still believe in Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs at plus 600. And then on down, Ravens, Eagles.
I'm noticing a certain
1,500.
trend with these first 4.
Yeah.
Something is.
People think the 49ers are good. We might be getting a potential Super Bowl preview on Christmas night. The Ravens and Niners, top seeds in the AFC and the NFC, both at 11-3. San Francisco winning 6 straight coming off the bye. Does Baltimore finally slow them down, Greg?
I think they slow them down, and it's closer than that 5.5 points number we're looking at. But I do think the 49ers win because the Ravens defense is going to have to decide. Every defense facing the 49ers has to do this. Pick your poison. What do you want to try to stop? And I think it's going to have to be their passing game. I think they're going to play in nickel defense for most of this game. They're going to change up their coverages, and they're going to say, and it stinks, if Christian McCaffrey beats us, especially running the ball, we might just have to live with that. And they probably won't live with that because Christian McCaffrey is one of the best running backs I've ever seen, having the best season he's ever had. If you look at the numbers in terms of yards after contact, second in the league. There's a stat in terms of yards that you gain after a defender is within a yard of you, according to Next Gen Stats. He's third in the league. And you're saying, oh, of course he's second or third in the league. But that's after having like 100 more carries than everyone else.
Right.
You can give him the ball more than anyone, and he's still better than anyone, and he's a great receiver. I think he's the difference.
I agree with you on everything. You can just, everything he said, just, slide it right in there. But I have a 4-point win for the Niners in this one. 26-22 is my final score. I want to talk about something that I'm going to be watching from this offense, and that's what happens with Brock Purdy on those downfield throws. This is an area where if you look at what happens with not just Brock Purdy, but the guys who are supposed to catch the ball, they have the highest open rate. Nearly 35% of the time on downfield passes are they wide open. Well, what do the Ravens do? You talk about they play more nickel, etc. They're actually the best at forcing tight window throws on the same types of passes. So if we're really thinking maybe these Niners are going to go all the way and maybe we'll see them in Vegas, they have to have a solution for that. So I'm going to be watching Brock Purdy here. And, he's leading the MVP race right now. I'm kind of with you, though. I think maybe it should actually be Christian McCaffrey. But if he can nail those deep passes against this defense, now we're really talking.
Yeah, and I think ultimately we're all in alignment on Christian McCaffrey being the most valuable player.
He's good.
On this team.
We're going to hear it from 49ers fans because they like one guy better than the other for whatever reason.
You have to pick one, and you got to pick the one that I like. I have to pick this game as well, and I am not picking the Baltimore Ravens. For the first time with Lamar Jackson starting. I also think the 49ers are very, very good, but I do think Mike McDonald's defense, as Greg said, as Cynthia said, they have to pick. You have to pick what goes wrong. And I really think the most difficult thing for this Ravens defense to defend is going to be George Kittle, especially not just as a receiver, but as a blocker as well, because they rely on getting pressure with 4 and 3 guys so much, so consistently. It's just not something you can do against this team. I also would like to say, because there's like 2 happy fan bases out there, whenever you lose a game to the 49ers, apparently everything falls apart. They play this game in a neutral site here in a month and change. I will pick Baltimore.
Oh, I like it.
But,
getting ahead of it.
Hey, at this point,
Run that back. Make sure to clip that off right now, and we'll run it back.
Yeah. If Baltimore's in the Super Bowl, I'm sure everybody here will be shocked if I pick them. Let's talk some more about this game, especially some player props for the Ravens and the 49ers. Greg, more or less the 1.5 passing touchdowns for the MVP. Purdy?
I'm still going with McCaffrey, but I am going to go more. Look, we all think this is going to be a close game. In fact, all 3 of us had the Ravens threading the needle, keeping it closer than 5.5. But even in a scenario where the Ravens play well and they use their disguised coverages to force a couple Purdy mistakes. I still think it's turnovers for the 49ers, but on the possessions, they don't score turnovers. They're scoring touchdowns, and Purdy gets more than 2.
Okay.
All right, Cynthia, more or less, how about this? Why don't we combine rushing and passing yards for Lamar, 285.5.
Well, you know why we all have this game so close? Because of Lamar Jackson, who actually would be my pick for MVP right now if you're looking ahead of time. And I'm looking at Lamar Jackson's opportunity. I'm a little worried with Ronnie Stanley going in and out of the lineup last week. That was a big problem. But I'm not worried that Jackson won't get both when you take it together. I just don't necessarily think it's going to be passing. I think it's going to be more Lamar using his legs.
And last one, I'll take it. It's 5.5 receptions for Deebo Samuel. I really think if you have a hope of beating this football team, you've got to plan to keep Deebo from doing this, like catching a 6-yard pass and taking it 60 yards to the house. I think that is the focus, and perhaps that's why it's more of a Brandon Ayuk, more of a CMC, more of a George Kittle game. I have less than 5.5 catches.
The Samuel hate.
Yeah, right. Clearly I think Deebo Samuel is bad. Let's move on to the Cowboys. I think it's fair to say things did not, guys, go exactly as planned for Mike McCarthy and the Cowboys in Buffalo.
11th play of this drive. Allen. Here comes Parsons. Runs away. Throws on the run. Has a man. Caught. Touchdown. It's Cook. Prescott throws high, and it's intercepted. It's Benford who's got it. Taken down. Bills take over.
1st and 5. And off Cook on the right side. Look at him. 10, 5. Stroll in. That was just way too easy.
11th play of this drive.
Dallas hoping to bounce back from last week's, it's fair to call it a disaster in Buffalo. They go to Miami now to take on the Dolphins. Mike McDaniel says he feels good about Tyreek Hill playing. How do you feel about the game, Cynthia?
I feel great about Mike McCarthy's squad. McCarthy, but just kidding. I like McDaniel better. 27-23, I have Miami in this matchup. Why? Because of something I saw without Tyreek Hill. Both O-lines are dicey this week. We see a lot of people on the injury report for each one. Now, if you have all of these different formations and you're lining up in a lot of different looks with this guy here, that guy there, things we haven't even seen before, that could spell trouble. Now, I understand that this Cowboys defense is used to seeing like literally the same play. It's called ISO, and high school players, they often know it because ISO was smoking them last week. But remember, you don't really get had twice with the same thing. So I think all of the different ways and scheming ways. Miami's gonna finally beat a good team. Are we gonna have to ice skate home?
Yeah,
oh my goodness!
If you unless you run the table and beat everybody, you're somehow a fraud in 2023. I'm disgusted by this. I will take Miami 26-24 because yes, sometimes things look different. And Coach Mike, he's good at making the other Coach Mike, the Coach
Which
Mike
one?
that I think is going to win this game. But honestly, we go back to the loss against the Arizona Cardinals. We go back to last week against Buffalo. You can run on the Dallas Cowboys, and you can make it look pretty bad. James Cook still feels like he's scoring touchdowns in that game. Raheem Mostert doing it better than anybody in the league right now, especially considering the way this offense is operating. I just have to take the Dolphins at home with the ground game playing the way it is, Greg.
Yeah, I think this is the toughest game to pick all week. But all week I was leaning Dolphins, picking Dolphins. We show up to the pre-show meeting. I'm picking Dolphins. I don't like all this agreement. I'm switching it to the Cowboys. Let's go. And it's because of Dak Prescott. We're going to just Greg it. It's like, oh, who's been the best quarterback in the league all season until last week? Dak Prescott. Like, remember all the way back in Week 14 when he was basically tied for the MVP lead. And now I see these shows, it's like, well, we've got 4 men who have a chance to win MVP, and Dak's not even listed. I like both these quarterbacks. I like Dak at this point in his career a little better. I think I was in my feelings because I made my least favorite pick of the year last year, picking against the Bills for the first time, and the Cowboys didn't show up. But I do think this Cowboys team is different. Game script is really important. They've been so good early in games, getting ahead, and then that doesn't expose their run defense to facing a lot of runs. I think they can get back to that because Dak's been good all season long, and he gets it done for me with a just Greg.
And I'll get back on my soapbox. Both teams can be good. Like one of these teams is going to lose, but it's okay they're going to be.
They could tie.
Yeah, it could tie.
They could tie. We haven't had a tie yet.
And we celebrate everything. Let's celebrate the Holiday Classic back on NFL Network. Christmas Eve, a special Sunday night of primetime football as the Patriots and Broncos light up the night. The NFL Holiday Classic, Christmas Eve, live at 8 p.m. Eastern, only on NFL Network, also streaming on NFL Plus. Let's dive into this Patriots-Broncos Christmas Eve matchup. Literally a must-win game. It's that time of year for the Broncos to remain in the wild card race. Which way are you leaning, Greg?
I'm leaning Broncos, but I think it's going to be closer than the number indicates, 6.5. I have it 13-10. I don't think this Broncos team is going to score much. It's partly because of Christian Barmore. It's say something nice about the Patriots time since week 9. Christian Barmore is in the top 10 in the league in interior pressures. I've always been a big Christian Barmore guy. I think he has a chance to be one of the best defensive tackles in the league. Look, they're a team that doesn't, play opposing quarterbacks to throw the ball a lot because they're always trailing, and yet Barmore keeps getting it done. A lot of pressure. Russell Wilson often struggles with interior pressure, like most quarterbacks, and I think this is going to be an ugly Denver Christmas time defensive battle. Broncos barely win.
Okay, well, I kind of have the same thing as you, except I have a 6-point win, 22-16. And by the way, I'm a little more of an Uche girl than a Barmore girl. Just, Michigan, no big deal. But here's what I'm going to talk about. It is talk nice about the Patriots moment because Hunter Henry, this guy's been a bright spot. He's gotten in the end zone 3 times. That's pretty good if you're looking for a nice fantasy tight end. He does fall. Obviously, I always check the injury reports because we just want to make sure. But he does fall within my top 10 tight ends this week for fantasy. If you are still in it, you can be in it to win it with Hunter Henry.
Wow.
Who thought you could say that? There are some areas of this Denver defense that are ripe for the exposing, and perhaps it will be the zap to...
Wow.
That's my nickname for Bailey Zappi.
The Zapper.
Really trying to make it work. The zap to Hunter Henry.
I love it, but all this nice talk about the Patriots feels very end of the T-ball season, ceremony.
Everyone gets a trophy.
Johnny was trying, and he kept everyone laughing in the clubhouse.
I'll keep it going. You cannot tell the story of the NFL the last 30 years without the New England Patriots. But my video is not very nice.
Okay.
Because as much as we could celebrate Bailey Zappi's performance.
The zap.
The zap, excuse me.
Zapman.
As much as we celebrate the zap, the Nintendo zapper, everything, the last 3 weeks, Bailey Zappi has taken 11 sacks. And he's going up against a Broncos defense that is, of course, much improved since week 6, but also struggles to kind of get pressure on the quarterback at times. And here's a very pressurable quarterback. I just don't see a way that it happens. Again, a narrow 3-point win, but Cynthia's got a buckets of points in this game.
6. 6-point win, and
Meme us away.
38 points.
Patriots fans aren't memeing.
You know who's going to love that? Kurt Warner.
Coming up, Cynthia's Lions looking for their first division title in 30 years. They get it Sunday against the Vikings. Maybe. Our picks right after the break.
NFL Game Day View is presented by Mercedes-Benz and the Holiday Love Celebration. Wherever home is, get there safely this season.
Looks, throws, middle, caught, Amon-Ra, to the 5, to the 2, leaps, and flips into the end zone. Are you kidding me? Oh, Amon-Ra, that is beautiful.
Amon-Ra, I'm going to give you a 10 on that. You get a 10 from me on that flip.
It's time for the Drive to Excellence presented by Mercedes-Benz. The Lions and the Vikings. The Detroit's been driving to excellence all season. They could clinch the NFC North. The last time the Lions won their division was 1993. They were in the NFC Central back then. Will they do it on Sunday, Cynthia?
My gut says no. My math says yes by 1 point, 25-24. So we're going to go with the math. I feel very nervous about this one. I will be biting my nails, crossing my fingers, and doing a little dance. But the math says that Detroit gets the narrow win here. Why? Because we saw just an ever so slight uptick in pressure.
Oh,
the
yeah.
defense, guys, it's getting a little better. It's not terrible. And our guys coming back next week, probably, hopefully, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
GJ. And you're starting to see some pass rush. You're seeing it maybe from guys who are coming from the secondary. It doesn't matter. It can be, I don't even care. I'll take a coverage sack. I don't even care. Fine. Just a little bit extra time. Remember, Nick Mullins here doesn't have the same type of experience as Kirk Cousins, so a little bit of extra pressure goes a long way in this one.
Just one.
Oh, I'm so nervous.
One win, so that Cynthia does not have to sweat out a Week 17 road game against Dallas, or even Week 18 for the
You know that that's
game.
happening. You know that Week 17, I'm gonna be like, they're going to Dallas, and this.
This team is different, though, Cynthia. This team is different, and they're going to get it done on Sunday, 33-26. They're different because of these rookies. First, you got Sam Laporta breaking records that Mike Ditka had. Now you got Jahmyr Gibbs, who just week after week is piling up 100 yards from scrimmage and a touchdown. One of the only running backs in the league to do that every week since Week 9. And I just used the eye test. The explosive ability he has when he gets the ball right there, and then the ability to break tackles and the ability to catch the ball as a receiver. I'm going to go ahead and use next Greg's stats. I don't need next gen stats. I don't want any running back in the league over Jahmyr Gibbs other than Christian McCaffrey. He's number 2. What guy would you rather have right now than Jahmyr Gibbs?
Kyron Williams looked pretty good last night.
Jahmyr Gibbs is special. I love Kyron, but Jahmyr Gibbs is special.
Yeah, they've got a few special guys on this offense. And coming into this matchup, my initial thought was, this is Brian Flores against Jared Goff. And how do we make things simple for Jared Goff so he's not trying to figure out what the Minnesota Vikings are going to do? You don't. You dictate what the Minnesota Vikings do, and you can do that when you have Amon-Ra St. Brown, who lines up in the slot 41% of the time. He lines up out wide 48% of the time. You can go ahead and just run your offense and not necessarily say, well, who's dropping? Who's doing this? No, Amon-Ra's going to do this, and then I will do this. It's if-then statements for Jared Goff, and he's not throwing picks. He's 5-touchdown Jared Goff like he has been. Well, I'm not saying in this game, but we've seen Jared play well. Ben Johnson's dialed him up very nicely.
I'll take 2 passing touchdowns.
Okay.
I don't need 5.
2?
Meme it.
yeah.
What could go wrong, Cynthia? Give him
What
the division
could go
title.
wrong?
Give him the blue Santa.
You say what could go wrong to Cynthia, like a laundry list of things just spawn in her head. We go from the king of the jungle to the Bengals. T. Higgins, bananas. A game-tying touchdown last week had folks doing some triple takes.
Browning scrambling right, in trouble, throws it off his back foot toward the end zone. T. Higgins wins a jump ball for the football. It's a touchdown. An incredible catch by T. Higgins, and the Bengals have scored with 39 seconds to go. I can't believe what T. Higgins just did.
Blackman had a great view of that T. Higgins touchdown, the AFC North showdown between the Bengals and the Steelers. Jamar Chase is going to miss this one. Pittsburgh's playoff hopes hanging by a thread. Is that thread cut, Cynthia?
Snip, snip, snip. Cincinnati 21, Steelers 18 in this matchup. Why? Well, first of all, the Steelers are missing some safeties, including Minkah Fitzpatrick, who is a big deal, which means it's even more important to look at what happens with Joe Mixon with Jake Browning, meaning they're able to actually run him in the A-gap, which is next to the centers. That's inside, those inside the tackle runs. He also is good outside as well, but you're giving them a ton of versatility, and you're giving Jake Browning, who's also a running threat. This just makes for a really big problem when you're missing the spine of your defense. It's going to be a bigger problem than I think the Steelers can overcome.
It makes a lot of sense. You have it still pretty close. I don't. I think it's a washout. I got the Bengals winning this game by 10 points. The Steelers are one of the worst teams in the NFL. Just ignore the uniform. Just watch how they're playing. It's partly because they're so slow. So what do you do against a slow defense? You give it to Chase Brown, one of the fastest players in the league. I just see this Steelers defense, especially on the second level, and I think this might be the worst collection of linebackers, secondary, especially without Minkah Fitzpatrick there. They just seem like they're stuck in mud, and Chase Brown is zooming. You know, you guys are on Fantasy Live every day. You guys are the experts now, but back in the day when you were just little kids, I was working in the industry. I think Chase Brown might be like a sneaky flex play this week out of nowhere in the playoffs against Pittsburgh.
I was telling people to start Amon Green when you guys were in diapers.
That's actually
when Detroit won the NFC Central. I was telling people to start Chase Brown, whatever.
I'm not that old.
No.
I will also take the Cincinnati Bengals. I do have it a little bit closer, mainly because it's a whole lot harder to adjust to not having Jamar Chase the entire game. They were able to have him at the start of that last game before he left the game. T. Higgins, of course, making those incredible plays. But I'm looking over on the other side. I just don't see the Steelers scoring points with Mason Rudolph, who hasn't really had – he did have a game where he threw 50 passes back in 2021. Since then, we haven't seen a lot of Mason Rudolph. We haven't seen a lot of Mason Rudolph because when we did see a lot of Mason Rudolph, things didn't necessarily go great for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think there's a reason for that. I don't know if Devlin Hodges is available, but either way, 19-13 Bengals winning. Coming up, the Raiders dropped a 60-burger last week. They got Mahomes and the Chiefs on Christmas Day. Which team is Santa gonna bring a W? Our picks right after this quick break.
Want more stats? Just ask Siri. Who leads the league in touchdown passes?
Now pressure off the edge. And drilled from behind. Ball is out. Coons with the shot. And big man running. John Jenkins is going to score. It's a life, it's dream. And an interception on the first pass. It's Jack Jones.
Amazing.
It's a pick six.
Amazing.
Lincoln now breaks the record. The highest point total in Raiders franchise history.
Absolutely beautiful.
Lee Cow.
Holy cow is right. One of the best defensive plays we've seen all season. Raiders Chiefs on Christmas. Las Vegas coming off that historic 63-21 win against the listless Chargers. But Patrick Mahomes, 10-1 in his career against the Silver and Black. 11-1 after this week, Greg, maybe?
I mean, he goes to 11-1, but the Raiders make him sweat just like Jarrett Stidham made the Patrick Mahomes Chiefs sweat at this point last year. 23-21. It's because of that Antonio Pierce Raiders defense. It's totally transformed since he took over. 26th in the NFL in EPA per play allowed before Pierce was the interim head coach. Second in the league since then. Now, I know some of it is because you got to play Easton Stick and the Jets and the Giants, but even the other games, including early in that first Chiefs matchup, they have been much better. The Chiefs, on the other hand, I expected after their bye week, Andy Reid's going to get in the shop and tinker and fix some things. All of their numbers have actually gotten worse offensively since their bye, including in the passing game. I think the Raiders make the Chiefs sweat, and they continue their great play. Make all the Raiders fans happy.
I, too, am threading the needle, but I'm threading it with a bigger number, like 9. I have 26-17 in this matchup. I haven't said a lot of nice things about the Raiders defense, so I, too, am going to echo those sentiments. But I'm going to give Marcus Epps a little bit of love. He seems like this unsung hero that we don't talk enough about, and then Jack Jones ends up with that, insane highlight reel. But Marcus Epps, down in and down out, he is playing in run defense. He's dropping back into coverage. This guy's a problem, and he's been a problem all season long. He hasn't been the problem. He is a problem. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Whatever.
You
get what I'm saying here.
Yeah.
But we haven't talked enough nice about him. And Marcus Epps, number 1, that guy has really performed well this season. Came over from Philadelphia, earned his keep. The great acquisition by them.
I feel like the Eagles, if they're watching Marcus Epps play, and they're like, hey,
You can use him.
wait.
You're like, we could really use that, you know?
I'm also taking the Chiefs in this one, and a guy that we have talked a lot about this season is Travis Kelce, and there's been a lot of discussion. Hey, what's wrong with Travis Kelce? How about this? Travis Kelce has over 100 more yards than any other tight end in the league against zone coverage right now. The Raiders, top 10 zone team.
Yep.
I think Trav gets loaded up. Everybody stops asking questions maybe about him, maybe the Kansas City Chiefs. I also have the Raiders threading that proverbial needle, but I think this does have the potential to get closer to that 10 points. Time for us to get to quick picks presented by Zillow. Red Hot Bills coming right across the street from us to take on the Chargers. Giff Smith named interim head coach after Brandon Staley's firing. Keenan Allen is out. All that feels like a pretty big Buffalo win, Chris.
Yes, I have the Bills winning this one 44-11. Cynthia's going to this game, and she's going to see points, especially from Josh Allen.
Art Freeland's going. My mom always gets all the shout-outs. Art Freeland's going to this one.
Look,
Got to the game, Art.
A good old-fashioned blowout can be very entertaining, especially when Josh Allen is playing. I mean, Josh Allen this season.
11.
11 rushing touchdowns. That's how many points the Chargers are going to score. 11.
But also how many rushing touchdowns he has.
11. Yeah. He's got 26 passing. Touchdowns are important. I feel like Josh Allen's incredibly good season is getting overlooked. His sack percentage, in terms of the amount of sacks he's taken, the fewest in the league, the best in the league for how many dropbacks he has. So, wow, you take the fewest amount of sacks, you've scored 11 rushing touchdowns, you're throwing for the most amount of touchdowns. Josh Allen put up a 40-burger. Let's go.
There's plenty of franchises that love Josh Allen, the Colts and the Falcons. Taylor Heineke starting for Atlanta, both teams in the playoff hunt. Michael Pittman Jr. has cleared the concussion protocol. What do you see taking place?
I see a very close game. I have Indianapolis winning this one 21-20. Michael Pittman is the linchpin here. That's what swayed it for me. A close game. I've seen some weird stuff from this Falcons offense. Like last week, when you're watching the game, I don't usually talk about stuff like this because it's like fun to say, but I had several people text me like, does Arthur Smith want to lose this game? Is he trying to? What's happening here? But ultimately, what was happening was Bijan Robinson was being asked to block while Tyler Algier was running behind him like a halfback. It didn't make a lot of sense. It's like he wasn't trying to use the assets that he has. You saw Kyle Pitts on that one, he just made that catch there, have to do so much work when on other plays he was wide open. It did not make a lot of sense. And I think that this defense picks up on that and pressures a ton of Taylor Heineke dropbacks, and it's tough sledding.
It's going to be a bad scene in Atlanta.
It's Heineke for the rest of the year. As of right now, we'll see if that sticks. The Packers and Panthers. Jordan Love's squad has dropped their last two games. Carolina got their second win of the year last week versus Atlanta, and I think Green Bay takes this one a little bit closer, 19-17, because the Panthers defense able to exploit the fact there's injuries at wide receiver. Christian Watson out, Jaden Reed questionable. If you could find a number out there on Romeo Doubs, go to investigate that. He only had 3 targets last week. He did catch all of them. I still think there's more talent, though, in Green Bay, especially considering the way the season has gone for Carolina. So that's why I am taking the Packers here. Coming up, the ending to last week's Browns game was enough to give some Browns fans a whole lot of confidence. This is how close they were, though, to losing the game. Can believe land keep the magic rolling Sunday against the Texans.
Cynthia wouldn't have caught up on us if he just caught that. My Tulane guy.
The battle for wild card and the battle for our picks continues next on Game Day View.
Fields back to pass, up in the pocket, he rolls left, time's run out, he's gonna look, he's gonna launch, it's going down into the end zone, the ball is intercepted! It's intercepted by the Browns! He got it! Ball game over! Browns win! 20-17!
Oh my God, the cardiac kids are back!
Sorry, Bears fans. It's time for Pizza pregame predictions delivered by Little Caesars. Joe Flacco and the Browns against the Texans. Both teams in the playoff hunt. C.J. Stroud, unfortunately, ruled out again, so it's Case Keenum. Do you think Case Keenum does it against the number one defense, Greg?
I do not. I think the Browns get it done 20-14. Look, this is a rematch of a 2014 game. Case Keenum versus Joe Flacco in Houston, where Case Keenum's starting. Case Keenum won that, so it's like a long gestating revenge game. The Browns defense gets it done because they have their cornerbacks healthy, finally. I know there's been a lot of injuries in Cleveland. The pass rush, obviously it's outstanding, but when you have Denzel Ward, Greg Newsom, Martin Emerson just locking down receivers, and if they're playing the best receivers in the league, like the receivers are going to win some of those matchups. The Texans aren't that team right now. Nico Collins is not 100%, even if he plays in this game. Tank Dell is not coming back, so I think they can lock those receivers down. We know the Texans have struggled to run, and if we've learned anything from 15 weeks, it's that the Browns devour backup quarterbacks. I think they do it again.
Okay, well, I have a closer game. I still have Cleveland winning, but I have 21-20 in this matchup. I want to give a little love to the defensive front of the Texans, though, specifically Jonathan Grenard, who has 12.5 sacks leading that team. They actually have 4 different guys with at least 5 different sacks this season, which is tied for the second most in the NFL. The front is getting home. They're doing their job. It kind of makes a lot of sense given that early or the end of last season they were doing a good job, and then early on this season, especially when everyone was like, what's going to happen? New coach, like, is it going to be? But yeah, no, they are as good as we were hoping that they would be, given who their coach is and where he came from. D'Amico Ryans, of course, from San Francisco. So looking at this game, you got to love, and I kind of want to say like Jonathan Grenard. Like, it sounds like he's like a Frenchman. I don't think he is, but I'm not sure. Jonathan Grenard is coming for your quarterback. But if these Browns, who are likely going to the playoffs, in fact, they have a clinching scenario this weekend, but you got to see what happens with real pressure coming at you more consistently. I want to see how Joe Flacco does in that situation.
I want to talk about the other team and the guy who applies pressure. Let's just take a couple seconds to talk about Myles Garrett.
Yes.
Literally 2 seconds. That's the average time for a Myles Garrett pressure this season. 2.33 seconds for Myles Garrett. Most of his pressures, in fact, 6 of his 7 pressures that came last week against the Bears were under 2.5 seconds. He's playing phenomenal football right now. I don't want to be Case Keenum. I don't want to be anybody dealing with 95. And he's doing all of this after dealing with that shoulder injury that probably would have put a lot of guys out. Myles Garrett playing through it right now. Just, again, one of the better defensive players in the league who should be celebrated. I'll go for the Browns to their former number 1 overall pick, Baker Mayfield, who balled out last week against the Packers. He has a perfect passer rating against Green Bay. Now he has the Bucs sitting in the first place in the NFC South.
Dropping Mayfield, looking Mayfield, throws toward the end zone. Receiver, caught ball, touchdown Tampa Bay. Mike Evans, and a great throw by Baker Mayfield. In motion, Tompkins, they look one way, drop the shoulder, caught ball by Rachaad White, inside the 5, touchdown Tampa Bay. Rachaad White. Play action fake, throwing toward the end zone, caught ball, touchdown Tampa Bay. Touchdown Buccaneers. It's O'Keefe's first catch of the season. Low snap, pass by Baker Mayfield, caught ball, and a first down. It's Moore to the 40, inside the 35 to the 30, more to the 25 to the 20, more to the 10, to the 5. David Moore has scored a touchdown Tampa Bay.
We got the Battle of Florida going down Sunday. It's the Jags against the Bucs. Baker's squad has won 3 straight, while the Jags have dropped 3 in a row. And a lot of that is, of course, hinging on the fact that their quarterback playing through a couple of things. If Trevor Lawrence plays, I will take the Jacksonville Jaguars 24-21, because even when we had no idea that Trev was going to run out there against the Cleveland Browns, I think clearly the ankle was a factor there. He's since also dealt with a concussion. But if 16 makes his way back on the field, I just have a hard time picking against the Jacksonville Jaguars, especially late when they need this win. Yes. I know Tampa Bay is in the same situation, but I just still like the quarterback situation a little bit more on the Atlantic side versus the Gulf side of Florida.
As we're sitting here, we don't know about Trevor Lawrence. So with Trevor Lawrence playing, I have Jacksonville 23-21. Should Trevor Lawrence not be playing, it would be a 2.5, so 3-point win for Tampa Bay. So I already did that math for you. Maybe we'll update it on Sunday if we can. But I do want to talk about Rachaad White, because it's taken 2 years, but Todd Bowles finally has a guy who's going to run the football. I've watched a billion pressers with Todd Bowles, and he, last year, every day, we need to run the football. He's so patient. He's like so kind, this man, and he stands there and he's like, we need to have a run game work. And you know what? The run game is working. If you were lucky enough to, in your fantasy league, have Rachaad White, you're probably still playing right now, because he's really performed, stepped up. He's been the difference maker in what year we didn't know what to expect from Baker Mayfield. When you have a run game, you can pass the ball significantly better. Congratulations, Dave Canales. You really did. And now we don't have to hear poor Todd Bowles doesn't have to sit there and be like, we need a run game. He's got one. Right. It's great. We love that.
And we could hear more of Todd Bowles for years to come if they just win a couple more games.
That's all they got to do.
Look, I hope Trevor Lawrence plays in this game, because I like Trevor. I like good football.
I like Trevor.
And I like getting a just Greg, because I'm going Bucs either way. Ooh. I don't care if Trevor plays. This Jaguars team is a mess. And this Bucs team likes to go down the field with Baker Mayfield. He, in the past, hasn't always been a vertical thrower. It's what he does well at times, but the offenses he's been in haven't really catered to him. Right now, he is second in the league at average depth of target. The only quarterback who throws it deeper is that wild rookie C.J. Stroud. And look, it hasn't really been that efficient for Baker Mayfield, but they keep trying, and they've hit enough. I'm not saying he's been terrible. I'm just saying, like, it's a big part of their offense. They throw intermediate, they throw deep. It's not a short passing attack. It's nice. It's old school. Let's go.
Like, I don't necessarily respect the...
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, it hasn't been...
I don't listen to his music, but I respect
stick with it, because the guys get open. Mike Evans.
Yeah, respect that he's throwing the ball. Still to come. The Eagles have dropped 3 straight, so there's no way, though, they're going to lose to Tommy DeVito and the Giants on Christmas, are they? Find out what we think when we come back on Game Day View.
Lost, backpedals, pumps, looks, going deep, and it is caught! Touchdown! Smith-Njigba!
They made it look much too easy.
Hurts takes the snap. He's back. He's looking. Still looking. He is going deep. He wants A.J. Brown. And it is intercepted, I believe. Or were they inbound? Yes, it's intercepted. Game time.
Christmas Day in Philly, the Eagles trying to get a bounce back at home against the Giants. So watch out. The Eagles dropping 3 straight, but they're still in the hunt for the NFC East crown. Does Philly right the ship against Mr. Cutler?
I think you said strip because you think they're going to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
27-16. Yes, they right the ship here. Why they get A.J. Brown back on track. This is a great opportunity to do so because we've seen the secondary for the Giants have some suspect moments. This is an area where for the past few weeks, we went from A.J. Brown averaging more than 125 yards per game to kind of being not really effective and not really, even not necessarily he's a good decoy, but not necessarily being targeted a ton. So that changes in this matchup, and they kind of get back on track on their way to the strip. Maybe?
There it is.
I was trying to make it work,
Yeah.
That's great teamwork there.
Makes the game work.
You know who has been a great teammate and a great story, but maybe not a great starting quarterback this year?
Who's that?
Tommy DeVito. I hate to be the Grinch at this time of year, but are we ready to move forward into a world where we recognize Tommy DeVito's production as
that looked painful.
Been among the worst quarterbacks in the league since he took over, taking a lot of sacks, but also if you look at his completion percentage over expected, it's way under.
It's not good.
And then if you look at the types of throws he's making, he's actually trying some of the easiest throws. So the completion is expected to be very high and his is very low. So he's not hitting easy throws. He's taking a lot of sacks. It's a nice story, but he's playing the Eagles in a big spot. Not going to happen.
Yeah, if it does happen, it's going to be because Philadelphia has had some real problems. I know a lot of focus goes on the offense, Jalen playing through the injury, playing through the sickness, and then A.J. Brown clearly dealing with something as well. But did you guys see the Eagles' defense against the Seattle Seahawks? Kenneth Walker had guys just doing the stanky leg, running the wrong direction. It was bad. And then towards the end of the game, during what Troy Aikman deemed a Drew Lock legacy drive, let's just look at how the game ended. And ultimately, Sidney Brown, there's 33 seconds in the game. He's running at Zach Charbonnet, and JSN has watch Sidney Brown. Where's he going? It's just there was a lot of confusing stuff happening, and I think that's the type of thing that has to happen consistently for the Eagles to lose this game to a Giants team that I agree is outmatched here. I think they fix some of those things, and they just don't.
Also, Eagles fans, I'm dressed like an Eagles. I didn't realize I was wearing all Eagles colors today.
No birds.
But, it's good.
That game, part of the Christmas Day triple header. Don't forget Sunday night. NFL Network, the Holiday Classic is back Christmas Eve, a special Sunday night of primetime football as the Patriots and Broncos light up the night. The NFL Holiday Classic, Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, only on NFL Network. Could this be Bill Belichick's last primetime game as a Patriots head coach? Also streaming on NFL Plus. Let's get to some quick picks. The Seahawks, Titans in Nashville, Seattle, still in the playoff hunt after beating the Eagles Monday night. Who wins it, Greg?
Geno Smith and the fighting Seahawks win it 30-27. I think it's a big-time offensive game. Look, Geno said his feelings were hurt, when he found out he wasn't going to start. It hurt my feelings, too, because I had picked the Seahawks, and then I flipped it to lock. When I should have known Ken Walker can get you the W by himself. He is getting better and better. He is the running back I want most to create something out of nothing, and he's been more consistent. It hasn't been as boom or bust this year. He's been a little steadier, and you're still getting the big plays. I think he gets it done against the Titans.
All right, let's go to the Commanders and Jets. Zach Wilson out, so the pride and joy of Northwestern University, Trevor Siemian, starts at quarterback for the Jets. Are you only picking the Jets, Cynthia, because of the whole college situation?
I thought I was the pride and joy of Northwestern, but whatever. No, 22-18 in this one. I'm picking it because of Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall, some other people as well. But I think that the opportunity against this secondary is massive. I also think that the opportunity to run the ball, also massive. This is their last home game of the season. I think that the Jets fans with Aaron Rodgers on the sideline, you need to watch out and see these little tricks. Perhaps it's even a Garrett Wilson rushing touchdown. I don't even care. You're playing him in fantasy.
All right, we got the Cardinals and Bears at Soldier Field. Chicago coming off that epic Hail Mary in Cleveland. Justin Fields out to show why he should be the team's quarterback in 2024. In fact, this is a mystery box game because you've got two quarterbacks going up against each other, and the franchise is maybe thinking about getting somebody else. I think Justin Fields comes out there and gets the Bears the win in this matchup, 23-21, because Justin is playing well. In fact, against that top Browns defense, there were several completions, especially the one to Bob Tunyon in the first half that could have been, but they were not because they were dropped. So I got the Bears here. Coming up, time for Write This Down. We're making some bold predictions for Week 16. Stick around. You're watching Game Day View, presented by Mercedes-Benz.
I think Mercedes should win us.
Get your game day started Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern with a holiday edition of NFL Game Day Morning.
The Cowboys are being thoroughly embarrassed.
Kurt and I will be in Denver, so we'll sadly miss Michael Irvin's therapy session following Buffalo's beatdown of Dallas. But don't you worry, Michael. Mooch will explain why the Cowboys might get another lump of coal on Sunday in Miami. It's a possible Super Bowl preview in San Francisco. Gerald McCoy breaks down why the Ravens D may need a Christmas miracle to slow down the 49ers. And find out which teams will jingle all the way to the playoffs in Cynthia Freeland's latest postseason projections. All that plus the return of Santa Mooch and much more. Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern.
Looking forward to Game Day Morning. If you've been familiar with our show, you're looking forward to Write This Down as we have some predictions that we think are certain to happen for Week 16. Greg, what are people writing down?
Yeah, sometimes I just look at a game and a number just doesn't feel right, so I circle back to it to help all the people in the land. The Bengals are going to beat the Steelers by at least 3 points this week. This sweatshirt right here saying Rainmaker. The Bengals are going to make it rain points from the sky with Jake Browning. I don't care if Jamar Chase isn't there. T. Higgins can get it done. How about a little Andre Yoshivas? They have enough weapons. Tanner Hudson is his name, is producing like a top tier tight end. And sometimes it's just about an organization. And the Steelers right now are a ship that is leaking. And the Bengals get better every December. Even without Joe Burrow, they are coming together at the right time. I think they're going to be a playoff team. I don't think it's close.
Well, sometimes I see a number and I see it 1 week and then I circle it and it works out. And then I see it again a second week. So I'm going to circle it again a second week. That's that Jahmyr Gibbs will have a longest rush of at least 13 and a half yards.
Easy.
At least 14 yards. That happened in like 14 seconds last game. So why not? We're going back to the well. The explosive Jahmyr Gibbs does it again. He has a long rush of at least 13 yards. Come on.
I love it because Flores is sending those blitzes at him, and you just got to catch him in one bad look, and he pops one.
If you're going to give me candy, I'm going to eat it.
He's going to pop it.
And the thing is, it feels like Gibbs is breaking a tackle on every single run. And I think the only thing that might stop him is going to be the end zone, ultimately. And the Lions are going to win. And Cynthia's not going to be worried or sad anymore at all. I got one more.
They got drugs for that, you know?
Speaking of guys running for yards, Josh Allen will run for more than 29 yards against the Chargers in SoFi Stadium, which is, again, less than 29 yards away from us right now. The last 3 games, look at that point from Josh Allen. He has averaged 45 rushing yards per game. He had 81 3 weeks ago. If he wants to, I think he can easily do it. Maybe he doesn't have to, but I think Josh Allen easily gets 30 rushing yards.
I'll give a free Write This Down, too. Like 11 points is not enough in this game for this Bills team. One of the best teams in the NFL right now. Is it a dead coach bounce type of thing? No, I don't believe in that when it's the Bills.
People apparently believe in the coach firing bounce.
Don't count on this, but I think Gabe Davis will see the end zone. They got to get him going.
We're going to count on seeing you next week. For Cynthia and Greg, I'm Patrick. Thanks for watching Game Day View.